what is going to happen after this pandemic, and how can we as young folks mobilize together and stay together to fight against whatever injustices that we want to fight against, and to pretty much continue this community of support, whether it's virtual, whether it's in person, whether it's in our own personal selves. Like, how are we going to continue to do that? My answer to this question of what I hope to see after this pandemic is I really want to see like more young people be able to come together and have difficult conversations on virtual platforms. Like, I want to see us be able to use social media to our advantage. I want to see young people be able to change the world through social media. And I know that this is a tool, but a lot of times as young folks, we abuse, social media by doing other things on there, things that may not, shift the needle to where it needs to be shifted. But I want to see like more young folks use this virtual platform as a way to continue to mobilize and create change within our communities.
Anna, I really liked what you had to say, talking about using social media like even more after this, because I feel like we've mostly resorted to this because we're like, well, we don't have like anything else. But what I've always realized when it's come to anything is that whenever you're short on resources, you always have to get creative with what you do have. And then you end up producing something that's like even better than when you were searching for like all those other resources. So I think I'm actually just going to piggyback off of what you said and say that I want to see more of this community continue even after the Rona.
And I feel like one of the things that I'm seeing is a lot of creativity. I guess that kind of connects back to what Anna and Aaron were saying, but I see a lot of organizations, and not just organizations, but also like schools and work and jobs doing a lot of creative solutions to try to get through. And I feel like we could continue using that creativity, not just in social media, but in many more aspects. I think a lot about like all the people that are working from home, and all the people that have recently learned that their jobs are able to be done from home, and what that means moving forward. I just keep thinking about all the creative solutions that the pandemic has brought for people. And I really hope we continue that mindset moving forward, because I can see that being super valuable to so many people.
I do agree that everybody should, continue to be as creative as possible once this is over. But I think for me, what's equally as important is the desire to be solution-oriented. A lot of times when it comes down to our society, we're expected to fit a quote-unquote normal paradigm, and like if you don't fit that, then you just fall behind. Right now, I feel like people are a lot more understanding of the circumstances that students are under, and people under the kind of pressures that everyone's undergoing as we're all at home. There's more opportunity for having pure conversations about empathy. Like if you are a student who's used to being in front of a classroom, and even if you were struggling a little bit there, but once you got home, you were struggling more, people are more empathetic toward that situation. So they're trying to find creative solutions for these students and these people who have been impacted by this thing. So for me, it's less about the creative solutions. It's the desire to find these solutions, because the problems that we've had have always been around. I feel like a lot of these issues that, people are having are amplified because they're at home. People's desire to solve these problems, and I feel like our ability to get that done, and it's showing, improving, like actually coming together and really, codifying those solutions. I feel like that energy is what's needed to make sure not only that we continue and thrive, but I feel like that we don't fall into the same situation. What's up, Akima? Oh.
What's up, you guys? That's my boyfriend right there.
What up? He's a pro wrestler. My man just did a flying lariat on the bed. It's all good.
And what's up with y'all? I ain't been here in a while, I know.
And that's why I had to call on you. You feel me? That's just, it's fair. What would you like to see once the Rona is over, right? Like what after coronavirus kind of settles, what kind of changes would you like to see?
I mean, I don't know. I just like how people are more like, they're more connected. Is connectivity a word? I hope it is.
Connectivity is a word.
Yeah, I just hope that continues throughout it, like, so that, because before everybody's like against each other, now everybody like with each other more, like more supportive. Hopefully that continues.
No, that's real. It sucks that it takes tragedy to bring those kind of things out, though. Like I feel like whenever we're faced with a tragic situation, we like, oh, but we can come together and overcome. And I'm like, I wish we understood how powerful that energy is on an everyday basis. Like if people felt like, oh yeah, like, you know, I'm gonna fail or I can't do, and we all just remind them like, look, together we can do, like, I feel like a lot more people would feel comfortable, you know, like chasing their dreams, chasing their desires, and like really trying to put their best foot forward. But a lot of times people feel so isolated and alone, similar to what you're saying, Akima, like no one's helping them, no one's like extending that hand to them, so they feel like it's a do or die. It feels like if they can't do it, then it's just done. It's just interesting. So thank you for that.
What do I hope to see after this pandemic? Yeah, I mean, I guess just us being creative with how we connect with others, and that, you know, will obviously be an expansion on virtual connection, but also just like adjusting to how we function together, like in social gatherings. You know, I think, you know, out of this, we just have to, you know, maybe we're going to have bubbles, you know, at our places of work or at the gym, and people like, you know, exercise or do their work in their, you know, little bubble, and there's temperature, you know, taking like every time you enter like, you know, a new place, and like washing hands. Like, I mean, I just want everybody to come out of this, you know, alive and like, you know, survive. And there's a lot of, I feel like, threats happening to that right now with, you know, maybe opening up without, you know, making as many precautions as possible. And so it's definitely the communities that are marginalized that are going to be most like, you know, negatively impacted. So, you know, I just want all of them to be safe and everything. So
I like, after this pandemic, I want to see like people getting along and like not being like so distant.
Thanks for sharing, Patricia. So
you
just
for
a little
sharing.
bit more background about Patricia. She's one of our newer students that I started mentoring through one of our partners at Chico State.
Nice.
She goes to Intercom High School. She's a baller, and she's in 10th grade. So I just wanted to throw that out there. She's a little shy, so we got to welcome her in with open arms.
Is honestly, we need to band together. And I think everyone has pretty much said that, like, government doesn't have the responses to everything. And I feel like, especially younger folks, we're looking for some form of hero to kind of save us. And the main thing that I'm telling people right now is that no one will save us but ourselves, right? So we got to demand that action. We have to demand that change. So that's all I want to say. And then I also just wanted to say thank you all so much. And Erin, who's going to represent this beautiful community action team on our event on May 19th. So I hope y'all can join in.
Well, first of all, let me say, the first thing that I hope that I get to see when this is over is people in real life. So like, I'm so excited to see you all in person. So that's my first hope.
Big facts.
right there. And if that happens, I'm a happy camper, we're done. But the other thing that I really hope that comes from this is the people are, and many of you touched on this, but they continue to be compassionate. Like Sarah Michael said, this is going to be ongoing for a long time, and the ramifications of it and the economic impact and just the health disparities that we're seeing in different communities. There's going to be so much that continues to happen. And I just really hope that people don't just focus on themselves, but that they're very mindful of others as we come out of this. Because I think sometimes, especially in crisis, there are some people who are just very much in taking care of themselves mode. And I think the only way we're going to get through this is together. And so I really hope that people learn through this process to step out of that selfishness and really be thinking of others and making decisions based upon what's better for everybody, not just themselves. So that's what I'm really hoping will come from this.
I think this is a very great question to start with, because it talks about possibility. It's about looking forward to the future instead of being stuck in the negativity of what's happening today. But also it's given us some opportunity to pause and really think about what's important. What's important to us in terms of our individual lives? What does it mean in relationship to how we feel and think about community? How important relationships really are, and that we shouldn't take them for granted. I think those are some outcomes of what is currently happening as a result of being locked in and locked out. On the other level, I'm also very excited because I think in chaos, there's opportunity. And at this particular point in time, we're in a chaotic state in every level of our lives. And I think that it's an opportunity for young folks to really, really come forward and declare what it is that they want for themselves and in their lives, and what that looks like personally, and what that looks like collectively in moving things forward, and really, really supporting young people, especially vulnerable youth, right? That's what we all do. So those that have it are going to be able to move forward the way they normally have moved forward. But for those of us that have been marginalized for so long, we gotta take this opportunity now to try to figure out how we get ours, how you get yours, and to demand it and to go after it. So the creativity of being able to go to social media and do what you do right now, and really, really starting to define either through OIU or through Kids First Coalition or whatever it may be, I think needs to continue to move forward in that direction and intensify. And that you need to demand and really, really imagine the possibilities. And that's what my hope is as we move forward.
Like, what are some of the major changes that the pandemic has brought out for you? Like changes personally and work, with family, however it's been like affecting you, or if it hasn't even affected you at all. I've honestly, for the most part, been fine, but I do still miss people. I do still miss like seeing them like in my personal life. Yesterday I went to Rite Aid, and even just like walking there and like interacting with people, I was like, wow, like I kind of miss this. Like I kind of miss getting random compliments from people like as I'm walking. Like sure, I could hype myself up all day in my room, but it's not the same.
It's not the same, huh?
It's not. It's not. Yeah,
That's
but
hilarious.
for the most part, it's been good. And I think it's actually forced me to be more productive. And I don't want to push that message on everybody. I'm just speaking that like for myself, because I know that there's a lot of discourse about, oh, you're quarantining, so you need to make sure that you're being like so productive with your time, but not taking into account like all of the other factors that could really be hitting and like affecting people from being able to do that. But since since I can't really leave my house to be able to go to school, to be able to do my homework like in the library and get distracted by like all the cute people that I see, I'm kind of forced to like, okay, you know what? I think I do just have to get it done. Even though schooling, they really like making it like real easy for a lot of us. They're like, yeah, we don't know how to adjust to this coronavirus, so we're not going to make a lot of assignments mandatory anymore, which is okay. But I think that kind of scares me a little bit for when I do like transition to going back into regular classes, because right now I'm at community college, and like when I do transfer back and I'm like in this intimidating educational institution, I guess like I'm kind of wondering like, am I gonna be as prepared since they're kind of watering down some of my education? Like, is there gonna be some things that I might be like missing out on right now because they're not enforcing as much as they probably should be, but they don't really know how to? So I think schooling has been like the main thing that I've been more worried about since the pandemic has like happened.
So during this like whole this bee's knees, I learned how to force myself to be positive, if that makes any sense.
That's good.
Like I remember previously, like one of these street talks, I was like basically saying how like my mental state was like at that time. So I kind of learned to cope better and be like more positive, like doing like the positive affirmations. I started meditating. I started working out.
Nice.
And I like started like I actually started talking to people. Like I don't talk to people. I never talk to people about my problems because then I feel selfish for some reason. But like I actually started like opening up more about, or more deeply I should say, got really in depth to like what I was like actually dealing with. And I just took time like for myself, like for me, doing things like gardening or like weird like other stuff. So I kind of like forced myself to be positive. I mean, shoot, it's working. I'm in a pretty great mood today.
That's good.
So things are good. I learned how to like focus in on certain things. Like when I'm doing, like if I'm supposed like, say I'm having a panic attack, I learned how to bring myself out of it and like just replace all of the negativity in my mind, like with things that are positive, or like I'll write down something and erase it and make it into something positive, or like, Like just like little things like that.
Look, I can't applaud you enough.
Right.
Like I said, I am so proud, happy, heart touched, all of that to hear that you are taking the time to like really like, you know, like get those things done about yourself. I mean, like at the end of the day, you're the only person that can control your outcomes. You're the only person that can control how you internalize things. So like if you're working on yourself, if that's real self-care, that's real self-improvement. That's beautiful. You have inspired me. I need to go back into the drawing board and to be like, all right, let me get into this. All right, for sure. Let's break it down. And, nah, but real talk. Thank you for sharing that. I feel like that was I needed to hear that today.
Crazy. I never thought I would see like this day where like I'm actually in an actual good mood. I'm not pretending to be in a good mood. God, legit.
My heart. Akima,
Right. I'm like,
like I feel it so much, like for real. Like I miss you guys a lot.
And we miss you too.
Right. I'm so happy to hear that though, Akima, because I know it's been a long journey with you since this pandemic, and I just want to say that I'm so proud of you for continuing to do those affirmations, to work out, to garden. It's so funny that you mentioned gardening because Cece and Jen just sent us like what they're gardening right now. They're gardening like tomatoes and cabbage and lettuce.
Oh my God, we are too.
Nah, I felt a little better. But there's a whole bunch of stuff that's changed. But I would say what it all comes down to for me, when I like really take a step back to look at all of it, I feel like my ability to compartmentalize has taken like a major hit. Like because like I'm a really big extroverted person, and I also work with a lot of people on one-on-one, like in terms of like counseling and one-on-one in terms of like just, you know, just being there, being a friend. I'm really that person. I like to like help people out a lot of different areas of my life. But what usually makes that easy for me is once I deal with a situation with a person, I can then retreat, go to something else, either deal with stuff at home or deal with stuff at work, or like, you know, just be able to like mix and match that energy whenever I see fit. So I'm never just settled into someone's energy. I'm never like, it's never just sitting on me. I usually like to keep myself in motions. I can take it, it bounces off, and like, you know, I can help people in that way. Like right now, I'm still being that person, but like in all of the different areas of my life, it's all coming down to the same space. Like I can't deal with it anywhere else. Once the day is done and I'm sitting back in my bed, I'm thinking about, okay, so how can I help this person tomorrow? What kind of follow-up conversations do I need to have? And I feel like being that I'm also a father, being that I'm also, you know, a partner, and I'm doing the same exact things at home, is just taxing. Like I feel like I'm just exhausted. Every day it just feels like I'm adding more to my plate. But at the same time, like I don't want to change up on the people who've grown to like, not to say depend on me, because I'm not really big on being people's crutches, but like I always want people to know, like, you know, you have a person you can talk to, you know, we can process through this together. Like you're not going through anything alone. And I feel like at the end of the day, like, you feel me, without the ability to compartmentalize that from space to space, sometimes it just feels like it's overwhelming. So like, you know, I feel like one of the things that I really want to address for myself and like be able to make sure that, you know, when I come out of this, you know, things kind of get back to a sense of normality for me, is like really being able to compartmentalize my energy. I'm a big energy person. I don't know if y'all can probably feel that through the video, but like, you know, I don't like to have my energy tarnished, because I try to give every person like 100% like all of the time.
Thanks for sharing, Brother Rex.
No
and yes,
problem.
I definitely could feel that energy. I need that energy. So I'm like you. I, you know, feed off of folks' energy.
Right.
But yeah, that's definitely been something that's changed a whole lot. One of our questions are, how are you going to keep hope alive for young people, especially those who are dealing with mental health, especially here in Sacramento, with the survey from Cities Rise being distributed out, and it's saying that a majority of young folks are dealing with mental health, whether it's in the form of anxiety, depression, suicide, stress. A lot of our young folks out here are suffering tremendously because of that whole aspect of school being taken out of their lives. And so we kind of just want to get your intake on that, because we know that we're struggling with that as youth organizers every single day. And so we need your help. We're calling on all of you brilliant minds to kind of help us and create strategic ways to move forward.
So I saw one of my young people on Wednesday. Yeah, just by accident. Definitely, guys. I've been hosting a little tournament, so I play PS4. I'm a gamer.
I was about to say, like, you becoming one of my favorite people. I hear the PlayStation in the background, and that map behind you. I just realized what it was. I thought it was just flowers. I'm like,
nope.
Shanice is awesome. I'm sorry. That's just what I got out of the whole presentation.
So I had just literally, I haven't had a chance to mute my TV, but I was doing a Fortnite. I can't play Fortnite. Oh, I suck. I can't even do the dances. And I've been like, like putting off like a little bit of money, like maybe I could do $10 V-Bucks. It's $10, right? And doing that for them. And like LaShawn was on the phone when I was talking to Malik, and he's like, "Are you Miss Turner?" I was like, "Malik, how are you? Oh my God, I looked at him. He looked so tiny. He looked skinnier than I remembered. And when I see like young people that are like tinier than me, I get nervous. And I was like, "Oh my God, do you need anything? Here, take this resource. There's a program called Lancero Program." And he went to the brother car. I said, "LaShawn, I can't like not leave and give this to the brother too, because I know when our young people leave us, it's like it was here, it's gone." So I went to the brother and I said, "Hey, take this resource down." No. I need to see in your phone, Malik. I have hand sanitizer. Sanitize the phone, put in the information, sanitize it back, gave it to him, because I could not let him leave my space, my presence. And that is just so that he could, they need to know you care. So do tournaments, and there's a program called Adopt a Senior, where you can adopt a senior, adopt a freshman, adopt a junior, adopt a sophomore, where you can give it to you adopt. So how it works is you post a picture, and it might be like with Malik, like, "Hi, Malik needs to be adopted." And someone can adopt them and send them like goodies like Gatorade or snacks that they like. And that helps keep living their spirits. And every week, I go to sleep to recharge. I need my energy too. I have an hour call. Sometimes it goes over an hour with all of my students, because they need that extra care and support.
Absolutely. That's an amazing way to keep hope alive.
One of the things too that I think is really important is just checking up on the people that we love, that are close to us, right? And just sending that, "Hey, how are you doing?" text. How are you pushing through? Is everything okay? Like something that has helped me do it in like a fun way is replying to like people's stories on Instagram, right? Because that gives me the opportunity to not make it necessarily about the pandemic, but just about whatever it is that they're doing right now. Like I have a lot of creative friends that, do a lot of art. So I'll be like, "Hey, this is so cool. Like, what does this represent? Like, what inspired you?" And that really helps to get like a glimpse of kind of what's going through their mind. Or even just checking on people that I haven't heard from in a while and being like, "Hey, it's been a minute. Like, what's up?" And just trying to provide that energy for them, that positive light that a lot of us, I feel like, are missing, just because there's such a lack of human interaction right now. All the little things become so powerful in the long run.
So one thing that helps a lot is, well, two things actually. One is to know that you're not alone, because that's like the worst way you can feel, especially when you're already struggling and stuff. When you feel alone, then it's like, I have to deal with this by myself, or I have to do it this way by myself, or whatever. It just eats away at you pretty much. So once you know that you're not alone, or that there is help, then that's like the most, I don't know, it's like the best way to like get through it pretty much. And then the second one is definitely to have like a group of positive influences, like you, such as yourselves. And I definitely want to give a big shout out to Anna, because she definitely helped me. Honestly, I probably would not be sitting in front of you guys today if she didn't like help me with like the positive affirmations and all that stuff. So if you have like a mentor or anything like her, gotta find them. Gotta do something, because I don't know, once you feel like you're nothing, and then you add the loneliness on top of it, it's just like, what's the point, pretty much. Right. So you know that you're not alone.
Absolutely. Yo, thank you for sharing. And that's real. That's real.
I have a question for Akima. So you talked a lot about mentorship, which I love, because like I'm a huge advocate of mentorship. But something that, I'm curious about is, as mentors, how do we find you? How do we find, the youth that we want to help out and support, and show you that, we really are about this and we really do want to be there to support you? But I'm not so sure how I can do that. Like, how do I find a mentee, I guess, is my question. What can I do to provide that for people like you?
I'm not sure because a lot of people don't really like open up. So like once you get like a little piece, you have to keep going at it. Cause Anna, she was like, okay, so what's going on? And I'm like, nothing, no, what's going on? I'm like, okay. Like you just gotta keep like picking at it. I don't know how to explain it. Like you just keep going, you keep pushing, you keep reaching out, or you keep like doing what you're doing, you keep the positivity or energy directed towards that person. Or I don't really know how you will find them because like I don't know, I don't remember how you guys found me, but like we found like each other. So like, you know.
You ever had someone in your life like love you so much that they annoyed you? Like, you know what I mean? Like they just wanted to see they just want to see something for you so bad that they don't let that up. I think that's kind of what you're talking about in terms of like I like, and this is my little caveat only because you feel me, like I've seen Anna grow. Like Anna and I've helped train her in certain areas. I've seen her go get trained in other areas and become like something completely different. And one of the things that I remember that Anna and I used to talk about all the time was like, at the end of the day, you just don't give up. Like, you know what I'm saying? You push, like, you know what I'm saying? Because certain people don't know that they need to be pushed, right? But like, if they see that there's a person who's consistent and honest about their ability to push them, they'll gravitate toward it after a while. I mean, at first there's a little resistance, but you got to realize like some people don't have that at all. And when they see how beneficial and how real it is for them, which I kind of want to use to kind of address the actual question that was asked too, at the end of the day, sometimes you have to be that hope, right? Like sometimes you have to be the hope for people in order to keep hope alive. You have to be that person. You know what I'm saying? You have to be the person who can show people like, I'm willing to be there, regardless if you're going to take that opportunity now or you're going to take that opportunity later. You're going to know when you interact with me that I am honest and I am genuine about caring about you. And I love you so much that I'm willing to annoy you about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm willing to get on your ass every day and be like, hey, have you completed this paper? Or hey, did you send out that application? Or hey, you told me you wanted to be a dancer. Have you been watching videos? Have you been doing that? You know what I'm saying? You have to be that person. And when people see how authentic and how genuine you are and how much that can change their perspective on things, they gravitate toward it and they try their best to reciprocate it. And that's what I feel like we need. We need more people to take on the responsibility or take on the role of being that hope for people to create hope.
Oh, I just wanted to like recognize something in Shanice's like background. It says, "Be the change you something in the world you wish to see in the world." That's like perfect.
That's funny, bro. That's real. That is real. I'm like, that's real.
Thank
Serious.
you all for sharing, for real. And just kind of to go off of that topic of mentorship, that is such an important like aspect in all of our lives, especially in the work that we do. And so I just wanted to shout out Akima real quick for acknowledging that, you know, mentorship really can get you from one place to, you know, another. And I know the power of mentorship because of the mentors that I had in college. Like some of them are even on this call right now. And so I want to be able to provide that for somebody else, especially for our younger generation. And so this kind of goes back to your point, Jose. It's really just like what Rex was saying. It's about if you're really dedicated in this work, if you're really wanting to see that positive light shine onto younger folks, then you got to be dedicated enough to annoy the hell out of them and to really just love them and come from a place of love. So I just want to encourage you to keep looking, keep searching if you haven't already done so. Because those young folks are definitely out there, especially in our local communities. This is another great session that we had this Friday. I am really grateful to have these opportunities to talk to people. Even though it's on this virtual platform, it's still is something, and I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful to have meaningful conversations that really do help us stay hopeful for the future. That was really what our conversation was about today. Life after the Rona, and how can we stay with our eyes on that bright light that's at the end of our tunnel.
Thanks, Hannah. Thanks, everyone.
It's nice.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, guys.